Hi all, my name is Chris Melke. I'm the founder of AI Renegade, which is an AI agency. And today we're going to be covering the AI agent called Gumloop. So what are we going to be building today? What we're going to be building is we're going to receive an email that has a list of action items. We're going to build an agent that will go through it and break out all these action items and place them in a Notion database. So that sounds like a pretty cool idea since I'm a project manager and I receive action items every day in email. So what we're going to look at is we're actually going to look at Gumloop briefly and see what it's all about. Then we're going to go into Miro and map out the flow. Then after that, we're going to go into Gumloop and actually build the AI agent, and then we're going to show the results. So let's do a brief summary of what Gumloop is. So Gumloop is a workflow automation tool that connects to Gmail, Notion, Airtable, and Slack. It has modular subflows. So what it means is that you could have a master flow that controls other flows underneath it that are subflows. And the thing is that it has an ability, like other AI agents, to iterate over different types of items that would have multiple things that it needs to go over, such as action items in an email, tasks, anything that has a massive amount of iteration that needs to go through. It can do it with ease. It's an AI-driven tool that uses automation, and it relies on some of the larger models. It relies on Claude or ChatGPT or even the newest one, DeepSeek. It has ready-made components, so you can access these tools right away with some ready-built templates, or you can build your own with custom nodes. So this is totally up to you. It's a wide open playing field. And then also there is a drag and drop builder. So you don't need to know any code, which is great for me because I'm a no code kind of guy. And it has a Chrome extension that will actually, bring web actions into your Gumloop AI agents. So let's take a look at what we're going to be building. So in Notion, we have here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do some pre-work ahead of the task. We're going to build a Notion database with tasks and status. Once you receive an email, we're actually going to have Gumloop look at the email and decide, does the email have action items? If it doesn't, it's going to do nothing. So it's going to do nothing to the email. But if it does, then what we're going to do is that we're going to run this AI prompt. So we're going to look at our email, build an AI prompt. We're going to split the text out so that we're going to have tasks that are identified, and it's going to be separated by a colon, 2 colons actually. And so once we do that, we have something, a delimiter, we can actually split it out, because nowhere in an email you're going to receive something with 2 colons unless it's a typo. And then we're going to send that to the Notion database, and then we're going to populate that database with the action items. So this is what the flow looks like right now. And we'll do a little bit of pre-work here. So we're going to go and look at the Notion database before we start in Gumloop. So I have a database here that I've already hooked up. It's called Action Items from Email Inbox. It has a name of the task, and it'll have the status of a task. Now, how I generated this is pretty easy. So if you have a Notion account, go in here, you click on New Page by just clicking on this icon up here. We'll name it Action Items, and then you're going to build a database. So we're going to push /, and then you want to look for database. And so here it is. We want a full page database, so it looks exactly what mine is. And so what you have is that we're going to actually add this in here. We're going to add a status in here. So you just push on this plus. It gives you multiple times you can add things you can add to these columns, and we'll just name it action items. So you can easily do this in Notion, so feel free to do so once you have that. What I'm going to use is one that's already pre-populated right here. So I already have this built. And then let's take a look at the email that we're going to receive or have received. So I received a list of action items on the banking project. And these are a list of action items that I received from a project coordinator or even myself that I send to my email that I could have Gumloop parse through and set up the action items for that. So let's leave this as unread because it's going to read the unread emails. And then let's go back into Gumloop. So Gumloop, you can access it through gumloop.com. I'm already in. I've already signed in my account. So let's take a look at some pricing for this. So Gumloop has different tasks and that are available with the pricing. So you get more credits as the pricing actually increases. So for free, you get 1,000 credits. For a starter, you get $97 a month. You get 30,000, and for $300, you get a pro plan, which is 75,000, and there's the enterprise, which is even bigger. You get multiple seats as you go through here. So if you're a pro and you just need one seat, you can go up to 10 seats for pro, and for starter, you get one. You can have multiple list steps, file runs. You also get some of the access is the higher priority access, and you also get better security for Enterprise Edition. So the other thing I wanted to show you is the personal settings that are here. So what I have is this is connected to my personal account. You can see how many credits I have remaining. So that's a nice thing to access. But I want to show you the credentials. So the credentials I have is that you notice this email is to my work address. And so I have my work address set up as the credential it's going to check. So it's going to read the emails, edit and send emails from this account. The other thing I have given it access to is my Notion account. It's going to read and write. So it's going to look for this database. It can read that database if we want to, or if we want to write to that database. So that are the credentials, and these are set up by just OAuth, just going in here, just connecting these accounts, and you'll have access. So let's go back to the hub. And this is where you start off from. As you notice, you can learn more through tutorials. You can see where your latest runs were, and also some latest updates from the team that's building Gumloop. You notice that they've also completed a 17 million Series A round. So they've actually got some more money coming in to develop this software. So let's go and develop a new flow to get these action items in. So first thing I'm going to do is rename my workup. I'm just going to call it action items flow. So it's saved the flow. You just hit return. It'll save it. So how we drop our nodes in here to get our agent started is that we just hit the plus button. And what I want to do is actually we want to look in Gmail for these action items. So I want to type in Gmail here is the easiest way I've found, and it'll do a search on everything that's available. I want to read the Gmail. So I have a Gmail reader that's set up. So it comes in here pretty big, so you can take a look at it. If I use my scroll wheel on my mouse, I can zoom up and down. I can grab this. It becomes a hand as it move over it. And also what it is that says it's going to read my inbox. It's going to look at the email body, and then it's going to select the number of emails to read. So we want to cut down on credits and not use a whole bunch. We know that we only have one email to read that's in there right now, and we're just going to read this one email. But the thing is that you can make it read any number of emails if you would like. So here, we're going to move this over here. And so the next node that we're going to need is that we're going to call AI. And we're going to call AI to do this prompt that we listed in our Miro document. So what we're going to do is call Ask AI. So since our information is contained in a prompt, we don't really need context. So we're going to go over here and connect this up. You notice that context has been grayed out, and the prompt is the only thing that's active because we already have the context in the actual prompt. So let's go grab this prompt. So we have it available in our Miro document. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to bring it over here in the Gumloop. So now we have our items there in there so that, again, we're going to identify key tasks. We're going to skip anything that's extra. We're going to list each item separately, separate by a double colon, and then only 10 words max, only provide the task list, no additional details. So that is what our AI node will look like. And as I mentioned, there's a variety of AI models in here that you can choose from. OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity, even DeepSeek is in here. But we'll just leave it on Claude 3 Haiku. I think it works fine. And also, the more advanced models you pick, the more expensive it gets. So we want to keep expenses low on this because we're just translating a simple action item for list. So what we want to do next, according to our flow, is that we're going to split the text. So we're going to split the text on a colon. So we want to do that, and then we're going to send it to the Notion database. So let's add those two items in here now. So we're going to go into split, because I know I want to split text. So we've done that. We've got the text box here, the text manipulation box. And so we're going to cook these up. You notice that text has been deleted. So now this is the node that we're going to go into. And this is the notation that we're going to use. We're going to use that double colon. So you can see here, these are the things that we will look on to split. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is we want to actually add our Notion database. So we want to use a Notion database writer, because that is the easiest way to get the Notion, these action items into Notion and to our team. So it's looking for my database right now, and it's found it. So notice that I've already connected this up, so it automatically knows which items are in my database, which items are in Notion that are in the database or actually in a database format, so it can parse through it. So let's just hook this to name. So it's going to go through and populate the name, and it's going to list status in there, and it's going to do it for action items from email inbox. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can take a look at it. So action items from email inbox. If there's anything else in here, say like I already generated a Notion database with the action items that I did as a demo, it will pick this up, but we don't want that right now. So now we actually have our flow. Our flow is already complete. So again, we're going to go from the Gmail reader to ask AI to prompt and split out any action items. We're going to go split the text on a double colon, and then we're going to write it to the Notion database. So obviously our Notion database is empty. So let's save this and run it and see how it works. So once this runs, what it'll do is actually pop up this column here, and it'll actually show us how our agent is running. So we started our flow. We've got our current run. Access my Gmail reader in less than a second. It took, AI already went through this. It split all the text, and you can see that it's listed as a success as it goes through. And you'll notice all these action items have been added, and in less than 10 seconds, it's completed the run for the Notion database, and overall, it's completed in less than 11 seconds. So I've taken this email that I would have had to go in, populate Notion, and do all this stuff. It's basically populated it for me. So here's the action items from the email. The only thing that's kind of unusual is that it just says, based on the content provided, the tasks that the key tasks that require the team to take action on are. So it's added a little bit of context to this, but I don't want that, so I'll actually take that out. I'll remove that. And so I just add that as an action item. So what we've done is we've taken this email that's super long. We built an agent that anytime we receive an email like this, it'll pass through this flow, and then it'll populate our action items to our email inbox, and so we can send that to the team. So that's a great time saver. I mean, that's what these agents are supposed to do, is save you time and hopefully some money, because you don't spend as much time doing this, and you can get out and get on the floor with your team instead of spending it trying to translate action items. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and this demo. If you would like to see more, please like and subscribe below. And I hope to see you soon. And please experiment with Gumloop. Cheers.